Today we're going to be looking at the Flyblown host stratagems. There's 6 new stratagems and they're all intended for infantry. Originally I wanted to do these as some short form videos like I did the enhancements, however I don't think this is going to work for this one because we're going to need a little bit more explaining. Our first stratagem is the nauseating paroxysm. You use this on a infantry unit that is in combat in the fight phase, and the idea is that you can force your opponent to take a battle shock test, giving them a -1 to that test. While it's good for Plague Marines that have an OC of 2, this actually gives your OC 1 units, such as your Poxwalkers and your Blightlord Terminators, a chance to bully your opponents off of the objectives. Next is the Droning Horror. This is intended to be used in the shooting phase, where you give your units a reroll of 1, or if they're in half range, a reroll of all rolls. This pairs really well with the Blightlord Terminator's reroll 1 rule, and this is also really good with Plague Marines that have Melta weapons. You already get an additional damage when you're in half range, so you want to make it count. Our next stratagem is the Vermin Cloud. This just gives you a chance to get some extra bodies in combat when they have their pile-in or consolidation of 6 inches rather than 3, so doubling the distance. You can use it to sometimes trap enemy units, and in general it's just great for improving the speed of our army. Next is our Enervating Onslaught. So this allows you to, once you've made a successful charge with an infantry unit, roll d6 for every model that's in engagement range, and on a 5+, they do 1 mortal wound. This is definitely intended for your Plague Marines and your Terminators, as they'll get a +1 to the roll, but really this is a great way to add extra damage for a charge, and even Poxwalkers can get advantage of this, because when they go in, they might be able to weaken a couple of units, so that when they fight them in melee, they may be able to convert them. So next is the Eye of the Swarm stratagem, and this essentially gives all your ranged weapons, excluding Blast, the pistol ability. So this is great for Marines, especially that are stuck in combat. You can use a Melta or Plasma for some tougher targets, maybe a vehicle or enemy Terminators, or even against hordes if you have Plague Spewers or Belchers. And if you're actually able to kill enough of your opponents, you might be able to free yourself up for you to make a charge with this unit. Finally, we have our last stratagem, and the one that was pretty much stopping me from making these short form videos because it'd be too long to explain: Mephitic Invigoration. So this one takes a little bit more setup to use because you need to use it during your opponent's shooting phase while you have a Mephitic Blight Hauler within 6 inches of one of your infantry units. So it means that during the phase, until the end of it, every time they're shot at with a weapon that has a higher strength than their toughness, you're going to subtract 1 from that wound roll, making them harder to wound. This pairs really well with the Plague Marines, especially getting a scout move and then a regular movement of 5. So they move up the board a total of 10 inches in their first turn, backed by this Blight Hauler, giving them a little bit of extra protection, as well as some anti-tank options. Combine this with the Droning Chorus enhancement, allows you to advance your units and still be able to shoot, because the weapons will have the assault keyword. It's going to make a unit, especially of Plague Marines, very durable when they're going up the battlefield. Going to make them a big target. But I can't see you wanting to run more than 1 of these or 2 of these in your army, just because if you don't use it, it feels like a lot of committed units. Otherwise, though, I do believe this is going to give the Mephitic Blight Hauler a lot more use on the battlefield. You might see him a lot more. Otherwise, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you can come up with any more unique uses or combinations of these enhancements and stratagems, please share it down below. Thank you.